Do you crave exciting sports takes and news? Fed up with the same old boring voices you hear on the radio? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you just might be a TBloomaholic. Lucky for you, it's time for another episode of the TBloom Talk Show, the #1 sports podcast in the world. Settle in, my TBloomanites, because another episode starts right now. Live from TBloom headquarters, here's your host, TBloom.
Nation! Welcome back to the TBloom Talk Show, folks. Glad to be back. First one of the NFL season. The time is here, guys. This is the most exciting time in the NFL season. It's not week 1. It's not halfway through the season. It's not even the playoffs. It's not the Super Bowl. It's mid-fucking-August when all the teams are in training camp. Preseason games are coming up. We just had the first one last night. What a fucking game. Better than the Super Bowl. Bravo, boys. Bravo, Cardinals. Bravo, Panthers. This is the best time of year, guys. Everybody thinks that their team has a chance, has a shot at winning the Super Bowl. Everybody is undefeated, and shit talking is at an all-time high. And this is just the best part of it all. I mean, it really is. I can't stress it enough. I know you feel the energy. I certainly feel the energy. We're going to get started this NFL season with the first episode of the NFL season, going over the entire NFC West and all the projections and whatever I think the fuck that you need to know about these teams coming into the 2026 NFL fucking season, okay? You are joined with me, with my two co-hosts, Little Troy and Ronnie. Huh? They won't be saying much, but they'll be there in spirit, okay? You ever get weirded out by Ronnie, just look away with him. Try not to look him in the eyes. Kind of weird. All right, what do we got going on? Okay, we are a minute 53 into the episode right now. We're going to start it off with the Seattle Seahawks, guys. Super Bowl champions. How the fuck they do it, I don't know. But that's just the fact. Super Bowl champions coming back, trying to two-peat possibly. I don't think it's going to happen, but we'll see. Sorry, that's a little bit of a spoiler. But yeah, let's just get into them. 14-3 last season. Leaders of the NFC West. Knocked off both of their rivals in the playoffs, Niners and the Rams, and scurried their way into the Super Bowl for the easiest win of their lives. What's new for them? Well, they got a new offensive coordinator, which, strangely enough, his name's Brian Fleury. Brian Fleury, where he spent his last 6 seasons? I don't know. San Francisco? That's strange. Didn't the Seahawks just get bought by a former 49ers ownership stakeholder? That's kind of suspect. I either see this being one of two things. Either A, the Seahawks 6, 7, 8 years ago, maybe a decade, sent their own committee to infiltrate the Niners from the inside out. Brian Fleury being one of them, their new owner being one of them. Now, this is the time they pull those guys out and bring them back into their organization, and they're telling them to spill the beans. Hey, what'd you see over there those last 6 years? Brian, what'd you see? Hey, that's our new owner. I mean, what kind of stuff can you give us from the Niners organization so that we can be a better organization? Or B, which I see as the more reasonable, more likely situation going on here, is the Niners are sending over their own infantry to try and take over the Seattle Seahawks from within, starting from the top with ownership, having a little Conrad down there as the offensive coordinator, Brian Fleury, we see you. I mean, this is a textbook war strategy, I think, we got going on here. But I don't like to get into semantics or anything. But watch out for that. That could be a storyline 20 years from now. But anyway, Brian Fleury coming in, new offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak out. You're looking at the 2019 through 2025. He was with the 49ers organization, mainly as a tight end coach and offensive quality control. But he's been around the minds of the league, the Shanahan mindset, which we all know that tree is fucking full of fruit. So you got to be a little excited if you're a Seahawks fan. Yes, they did lose Kenneth Walker, Super Bowl MVP, but they did replace him with a first-round pick, Jeremiah Love's backup at Notre Dame, Jadarian Price. Jadarian Price. Yeah, did you know that? Did you know Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love were on the same damn college team and Notre Dame couldn't win a natty? Kind of suspect, Notre Dame. I mean, that's kind of fucking shitty. You got 2 first-round picks on your offense and you can't fucking pull off a natty? Seems weak to me. Anyway, let's keep it on task, on target here. We're sticking to the Seattle Seahawks. Let's go over to the defense, which is their bread and butter, guys. We all know that that's the reason why they won the Super Bowl. It wasn't because Sammy D. It wasn't because Kenny Dubbs. It was really their defense that stole the show. And luckily for them, the biggest part of that show was the 4 men up front getting to the quarterback. They're bringing back Leonard Williams, Byron Murphy II, Jaron Reed, and DeMarcus Lawrence, all going to be back, ready to go. Oh, did I mention that they also signed Dante Fowler Jr.? So they're going to be looking pretty good up front, and that is so important for this team because they don't blitz the quarterback very much. They were 8th in sacks last year, but they only had a 19.3% blitz rate. What does that mean? TBloom, what the fuck are you telling me that for? I'm telling you that these guys don't need to send more people than 4 to get to your QB at a high rate. What does that do? Well, it keeps a lot of people back in pass coverage, making it harder for the QB to find an open receiver. Pretty simple stuff, no? Yeah, but TBloom, they just lost Tyreek Woolen to the fucking Eagles. Tyreek Woolen? The same guy that trash talked Puka? Next play gets mossed by Puka? Almost gives up the entire fucking game for the Seattle Seahawks? You talking about that guy? Excuse the accent. But you're talking about that guy? That guy's wishy-washy, man. You don't want that guy on your side. You want that guy way the fuck away from your team because that guy looked like an absolute fool on fucking primetime television and almost ruined your season. Yeah, I know, but he was good. No, he's not. Get him off. Send him to Philly. Seattle Seahawks defense is going to be fucking legit this year. Not a big fan of it, but damn, that's just the case, okay? And I know what you're doing. Well, that's just last year. Well, they spent 5 out of their 8 draft picks on the defensive side of the ball. They're going to be tanking up. They're going to be ready to go on defense. One of those guys I'm pretty high on out of TCU, if you may know him, Bud Clark. A little bit of a ball hawk, a little aggressive. Bring some attitude to that defense. Guys, the Seattle Seahawks offensively are going to look pretty similar. I expect them to take a step back. Defensively, I think they're going to pick up right where they left off. And they were 14-3 last year. I think they're going to take a step back. We're going to say 12-5. 12-5, the Seattle Seahawks. You know what? No, they're going to be 11-6. They're going to be a good defense. Offensively, they're going to struggle. 11-6 for your defending Super Bowl champions. I'm not even going to make a playoff. I won't even talk about playoffs. We'll just go regular season. I'll make a video about how I think each team individually is going to do in the playoffs and stuff. Maybe come up with a whole bracket for you guys. I think that'd be fun. I think that'd be encouraging for everyone out there. My TBloomanites, I want to say thank you for tuning in. But that's going to be your 2026-2027 Seattle Seahawks, an 11-5 record. Or, sorry, 11-6. Stupid. Anyway, let's move on to one of the more interesting teams of the league, I think. A team who I think a lot of people are looking at like, that's an easy dub. Or, they're trash. Well, guess what? I got news for you. The Arizona Cardinals are going to be better than you think. Here's why. Let's break it down. Last year, 3-14 marks the end of an era in Arizona. No more Kyler Murray. No more of that little spit fuck scrambling around, making crazy plays or stupid plays sometimes. No more Jonathan Gannon. He's gone. Bringing in the new guns. And another fruit off the branch of the McVay-Shanahan tree. Yours truly, Mike LaFleur. I like that. I wish their name was LaFleur rather than LaFleur. But yes, it's Mike LaFleur, brother of Green Bay Packers head coach Matt LaFleur. So, scoot over Harbaugh's. There's a new brotherhood in the league. You know what I mean? These two are going to possibly go at it more than the Harbaugh's, but there's another brother head coach rivalry going on. Anyway, that's not my point. Keep me on track here. End of an era. Mike LaFleur steps in. He's from the Shanahan McVay, tree. Been with those guys of the who's of the league. So that's kind of where he's stemming from. Offensive minded. And they brought in Nathaniel Hackett as their offensive coordinator. He said he wouldn't have picked anybody else besides Nathaniel Hackett. You guys remember Nathaniel? You guys remember 3 years ago where he was it 3 or 4? 3 or 4 years ago when Russell Wilson, I think it was 4 at this point. Russell Wilson's first year with the Denver Broncos, Nathaniel Hackett was the head coach rather. Absolute disaster. Ruined his name, slandered his name for years to come. Nobody thinks of Nathaniel Hackett and thinks success right now. And that sucks for him, but that's just the way the NFL works. You're only as good as how you are as a head coach. And if you suck as a head coach, you're always going to be remembered as a piece of shit. That's just what I'm saying. Anyway, Nathaniel Hackett coming in as the offensive coordinator, and they got a lot of work to do here, guys. They were 31st in the league in rushing yards per game. Okay, 22nd in the league in points per game. So what do you go out and do? Well, first off, you go out and draft a gosh darn running back. Almost said damn right there. I'm trying to keep it down. Religious man trying to keep the slander about God down. Trying. Anyway, you bring in Jeremiah frickin' Love, okay? Well, who's he going to run behind? You need a line? Well, you go out and sign veteran guard Isaac Seumalo. You're going out and you sign tackle Elijah Wilkinson. You go out and you make a draft choice for another guard, Chase Bizontito? Chase Bizontist. Maybe a household name. Maybe I'll never have to worry about how to say his name again. But, like I said, they go out, they get 3 different linemen, they bring in the best running back in the draft. And where do you go from there? Well, here's the thing. And here's the thing I don't think about anybody's even thinking about the Arizona Cardinals. You got this young, hungry, offensive-minded head coach and offensive coordinator. You got a running back who they say is the next Saquon. I say he's the first Jeremiah. You got Jacoby Brissett. And I think this is where everybody gets confused. When they see Jacoby Brissett, they think, okay, we've seen it before. It's not a long-term solution. He hasn't necessarily been successful in the league. And I think that's where you kind of are overlooking him. Because last year, Jacoby Brissett had 14 games, and he put up 3,366 yards, 23 TDs, and just 8 interceptions. If Trevor Lawrence has that in 14 games, you guys are sucking him off. The media, of course. The media's theoretically sucking it, making him seem like he's God. But those are not bad numbers for a starting QB, not to mention a veteran QB. Okay? Now let's take a look at their receivers. Well, you got Marvin Harrison Jr., who I know has not panned out the way we all thought he would be. Okay? But his expectations were fucking sky high. He didn't meet them. Okay, so what? Doesn't mean he's still not going to be a factor in this league one day. And I think he is. I think he took a step forward last year. I think a lot of those expectations, him not living up to, he's starting to relax a little bit and just play football, which is good for him. Now you take a look on the other side. You got Michael Wilson, who emerged as a threat last year, a solid number 2 receiver. By the way, Jacoby Brissett was throwing these guys balls last year. He's already got a little bit of mojo going with him. A little bit of camaraderie, of understanding between the receivers and the QB, which is a big thing. Okay? Now you take a look. Obviously, you got your running back. I haven't even mentioned the fact that they possibly have the best tight end in the league, Trey McBride, who's going to be a factor. Okay? So we have A, offensive head coach, stemming from the fruits of the labor of the McVay-Shanahan tree. You also have offensive coordinator who's looking to prove himself, looking to make a staple in this league. You have a veteran QB who's shown he's a gunslinger. He can put up points for you. Is he going to be the best QB in the league, top 10 QB? Maybe not top 10, but he might be top 10 for like 5 weeks in a row. He might be have a good stretch. Okay, you got 2 young receivers who have the talent and ability to be a very good tandem. You have a tight end who is someone you have to game plan for. You have a running back who supposedly is supposed to be this next big thing. I mean, you have pieces here to be successful now. And this is the NFL. It stands for not for long. So if Mike LaFleur and Nathaniel Hackett want to make sure that they're solidified in Arizona, they're not going to be waiting around to get their QB1. They're going to be wanting to make some shit happen right now. So that way the organization understands and knows, hey, look, once we got our guy, we're going to pick up right where we left off. And our guy's going to just make us that big and better. When I say my guy, I mean their quarterback of the future, which obviously Jacoby Brissett is not. And speaking of quarterback of the future, did you guys fucking see the preseason game last night? Carolina, Arizona? Did you see Carson Beck out there looking like a first overall pick? Looked like a fucking stud, absolute stud muffin in the Hall of Fame game, one of the biggest games of the year. Super Bowl, AFC Championship, NFC Championship, Hall of Fame game. That's the order, baby. Carson Beck looks legit. I respect him. I don't know if he's going to start this year. I don't think they should start him right off the bat, at least. Obviously, if you got a guy and he's young and he's playing well, it's hard not to start him in this league. You get a lot of pushback from the fans with going with Brissett, but you stay strong to your guns. You let Beck sit back, watch how a veteran does it. Watch how a veteran moves come game day, how he wakes up and prepares for Sundays. Watch Brissett go out there and probably throw for fucking 400 yards, couple tugs, couple interceptions, right? Probably a few of those, maybe a pick six. Beck's looking at him, well, how's he going to handle a pick six? He's fucking shaking it off, going out there throwing a touchdown to Marvin Harrison Jr., losing the ball game 45-52. But still, this Arizona Cardinals offense, I rest my case, is going to be legit. The defense, no, they fucking suck. 25th in rushing yards per game, 24th in passing yards per game. And then when you look at their points per game, they're 29th. So they gave up running yards, passing yards, points. And the best thing that they could do this offseason was sign Terrell Austin as a senior defensive assistant, who is the former defensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's their best move. Their defense will be shite. I was going to say shiza or shite. But they're going to be everything in terms of shit. But anyway, this Arizona Cardinals offense is going to be legit. They will be better than their 3-14 record. They will win. This is tough. Arizona, I think they're going to be fucking good, guys. I think they're going to, like, offensively, they can put up some fucking points. They might even start off like 2-0, 3-0. Give me them to win fucking 8 games. Give me the Cardinals sitting at 8-9. Which is going to kind of fuck them if Carson Beck's not the guy, because they're going to need to grab a QB here soon. But, you know, trades can happen. Give me the Arizona Cardinals go 8-9 with top 10 offense in the league. That's what I think. Okay, let's move on to the San Francisco 49ers. The Golden Childs by Kyle Shanahan. Man, this team last year somehow survived with a 12-5 record, even after all the injuries to Purdy there in the middle of the season. Fred Warner going out for the season. Nick Bosa going out for the season. I mean, the fact that this team even got to the playoffs, let alone went 12-5, is remarkable, and I think speaks volumes to the Kyle Shanahan coaching staff and them overall as a coaching staff. But as we look into this season, and as I'm, doing research, scratching my beard, wondering, hey, what's the path for them this year? How are they going to move forward? What's the way that they're going to go? I can't quite describe this team for you without using the words injured or old. And just bear with me here for a second, because I know on paper this team is legit. And if this was, a Madden franchise, all Madden, turn the injuries off, this team is a problem. It's a problem. But unfortunately, this is the NFL, and this is real life, and injuries are a part of the game. Let's just take a look at it from a mathematical standpoint. I don't know. You got your best player potentially on your team, Trent Williams, 38 years old. Yes, for the first 37 years, he has escaped Father Time. And he has managed to be one of the best players in the league, if not the best at his position. But he's 38 years old, and you just can't count on that happening. Eventually, it's going to catch up to him, especially at a physical position on the line at left tackle. That's just old bones break easier. That's all I'm going to say. You got George Kittle coming off an Achilles tear. 32 years old. Now, I know what you're thinking. 32 years old, man, that's probably not for a tight end, dude. Not for a tight end, not for a physical guy going out there in the trenches, not only running routes, but making blocks and being the physical specimen that he is. And I know what you're saying. Well, before that, he has a few games he gets injured, but he's not that injured. But he's 32, okay? So, anyway. Then we got Mike Evans coming off a broken collarbone. 32 years old. Yeah, but Mike, for the last, majority of his career, he's been healthy. He's been ready to go. Yeah, but he's 32 and he just had a broken collarbone. You got a guy, Christian McCaffrey. CMC, the golden child. The chosen one for the 49ers offense. Played a full season last year. Well, yeah, he played a full season. What are you trying to say, TBloom? What the fuck? The last time CMC has played 2 full seasons back-to-back was 2019. Okay? Hasn't done it since. Trends are showing me he's going to get injured this year. I don't want to say it. I'm just showing you the facts. 28 years old, Ricky Purcell. I think he might even be 27. 27-year-old Ricky Purcell. Knee surgery. Out for the season. Boom. Bring in a 30-year-old Debo Chunky Samuel. I don't know. It kind of makes me go like that. Not to mention the power plant that sits right outside of their practice facility is getting bigger. Zapping motherfuckers left and right with fucking knee injuries, ankle injuries, shoulder injuries. Zing, 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 zing. Fucking the whole organization up. No, the Niners doubled down on it. They said, fuck it, we're staying. We're getting closer. We're getting closer to that power plant. To that energy fucking boost, whatever the hell it is. We're getting closer and we're coming for it. We're going to attack it. I don't know, man. You look at Fred Warner coming off a fractured ankle last year. Nick Bosa, torn ACL. Guys, I don't want to... The head coach is on IR right now. What do you want me to... What? I'm the bad guy because I'm bringing it up? Well, this team, when you look at it, this is the league. People get injured. For me not to anticipate injury would be crazy. It'd be stupid, be foolish. To think everyone's going to stay healthy, not going to happen. I can't overlook it. Every year the Niners come in and they're supposed to be this team that's supposed to be the Super Bowl favorites. I don't see a way for them this year, guys. On paper, sure, it looks good. Overall, this team is going to be 9-8, and they're going to be injured a lot. So give me the Niners to go 9-8, just above Arizona. Things might be bad for the Niners this year. That's what? I'm the bad guy for bringing it up? Well, someone's got to fucking say it. Anyway. Let's move on to the Los Angeles Rams. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. LA Rams, man. I mean, they're doing everything they can to make sure they win a Super Bowl. This reminds me a lot about what they did years ago when they traded for Jalen Ramsey and brought in all those boys to the team. And it worked. They got the Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl. They beat the Bengals. And, honestly, I thought that was the end of the era for the Rams right there. I thought they'd move on. Here they are some years later. And Matthew Stafford's still looking like, he's the MVP. He's looking like one of the best players in the league, if not the best. And you look at what they did on the defensive side of the ball. They went out and they traded for Trent McDuffie. Arguably top 5 corner in the league. Okay? But they didn't even stop there. They said, you know what? We got Trent McDuffie. Cool, that's nice, that's nice. How about we go out and get the defensive player of the year? The guy who had more sacks than anybody in league history. Myles Garrett. I mean, these LA teams, they got to calm down, man. Dodgers trading for Scooble. Rams trading for whoever the fuck they want, whenever they want. It's getting out of hand. But when you look at this Rams team, they're putting a lot of pressure on themselves, guys. And Pressure either makes diamonds or bust pipes. And you better hope that you got some diamonds in there that are not ready to bust. Puka's coming off of a off season that he's not used to. A lot of off the field, news articles about him that aren't very flattering, to say the least, about his character. So we'll see how he does. I think he'll be in the right mindset. I mean, when he's on the field, he's on the field. He's just a playmaker. He's a football player. If he was a guy out there and you're picking in a line and you picked him for the Turkey Bowl, he wouldn't just be your best receiver. He'd be the best corner. He'd be good at rushing for the goal. He'd be the best tackler, all that. He's just a football player that happens to play receiver. You got Matthew Stafford, MVP. I mean, this team is Davante Adams, who's still doing it. Doesn't need to be the one. Going to get single coverage. Going to have a lot of opportunities one-on-one that he did last year where he led the league in receiving touchdowns. This is a legit team with legit backing, with legit coaching that I see going 14-3 this year, leading the NFC West. I see them going all the way to the Super Bowl to lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's just my guess, just my prediction. And yeah, this is the clear-cut favorite, number one team in the NFC West, who is arguably the best team on paper, or the best division on paper in the league. So that's going to do it for the NFC West, folks. I appreciate you joining me here on the TBloom Talk Show. First one of the NFL season. Next one will be of the AFC West. We'll travel down to Denver, Kansas City, San Diego. I'm just kidding. LA, obviously. And obviously Las Vegas to take a look at them. Thanks for joining me. I will be back next week. Until next time, I appreciate you. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And yeah, we'll see you next week. I'm TBloom.